News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager. A complete fabrication. That is how the White House is describing a report from Iran state television on a draft memorandum of understanding with the U.S. The report says traffic through the Strait of Hormuz could return to normal within a month of a deal being signed, and Iran and Oman would get a mechanism to oversee shipping through the strait. We get more from Bloomberg's Kaylee Lines in Washington.
This just continues the kind of conflicting narrative that Iran versus the United States has been putting out for the duration of this ceasefire and attempted diplomatic process, because, of course, President Trump himself would contend a number of things in True Social posts, including Iran being willing to give up its highly enriched uranium and for the U.S. to go in and take that out, only for Iranian state media to say no such agreement has been made.
Bloomberg's Kaylee Lines in the nation's capital, where the White House says no one should believe anything Iranian state media say. The conflicting reports have stocks mixed now. The S&P 500's down about 0.1%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is 0.4% higher, and the NASDAQ Composite's lower by 0.2%. Crude oil continues to fall. West Texas Intermediate's just above $90 a barrel. That's a drop of more than 3.5%. Brent is down more than 3%, trading above $96 a barrel. President Trump's latest effort to reshape the Republican Party paid off in a big way in Texas. State Attorney General Ken Paxton steamrolled incumbent Senator John Cornyn by 28 points in last night's runoff after Paxton picked up the president's endorsement just last week. Bloomberg Texas Bureau Chief Julie Fine says the GOP base was energized.
The group that came out to vote was certainly for Ken Paxton. I mean, John Cornyn really said last night something to the effect of, those who come out to vote speak for those who don't. It is not a high turnout in primary elections. You really see the small group speaks for the larger group. But what it certainly says for sure is Donald Trump has sway here.
And Bloomberg's Julie Fine reports it also opens the door to a more serious challenge for Paxton in November from Democrat James Tallarico. National polls show voters souring on President Trump's handling of the economy and the war with Iran. Uganda has closed its border with the Democratic Republic of Congo as a rare form of Ebola virus continues to surge. The number of suspected cases in eastern Congo is near 1,000, with at least 220 suspected deaths. Uganda's reported 7 cases, including 1 death back on May 14th. Officials say the country's Ebola caseload hasn't been surging, but the number of exposures from health workers has. On Wall Street, the stock rally may be faltering, but there is still plenty of excitement around artificial intelligence. Micron Technologies and South Korea's SK Hynix are the latest members of the $1 trillion club as investors pile into the memory chips at the center of the AI build-out. Ryan Vlastelica covers stocks for Bloomberg News.
There's been a huge and growing appreciation of how central high bandwidth memory is to the overall AI infrastructure build-out. These companies have seen absolutely massive demand and absolutely massive growth. I think Micron's revenue nearly tripled last quarter, which was, I think, the fastest pace of growth going back to, I think, the 1990s.
And Bloomberg's Ryan Vlastelica reports analysts at UBS think Micron's value could more than double over the next 12 months. Right now, the stock is moving higher. It's up about 1%. Shares of Boeing are 2% higher. CEO Kelly Ortberg says the plane makers completed a so-called capstone review with the Federal Aviation Administration that will allow Boeing to boost production of its workhorse 737 MAX jet to 47 per month. Ortberg also says he's met with President Trump on boosting weapons output.
Our weapons business is the demand is through the roof. So that's another area where we're going to quickly be talking about how many can we build, not how many can we get under order.
Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg spoke at the Bernstein Strategic Decisions Conference in New York. New York and New Jersey have issued subpoenas against FIFA over ticket prices at the upcoming World Cup. The state's Democratic attorneys general say they're looking specifically at the games at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, where fans say they were misled about where their seats are located. FIFA is using dynamic ticketing this year, which has pushed prices far beyond previous World Cups. President Trump could be headed to a Knicks game now that the team's made the NBA Finals. That's according to the New York Times, which says the president considered coming out for a Game 5 tonight at Madison Square Garden, but that was before the Knicks swept the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager. This is Bloomberg.